The vision paper for the ASI token merger dropped yesterday. Let's go through it. SingularityNet, the world's first decentralized artificial intelligence AI network, Fetch AI, a new AI economy Web3 platform, and Ocean Protocol, a decentralized data exchange platform for data protection, have proposed to merge their tokenomic networks into the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, ASI. This paper dropped because of the ongoing community vote about the merger. SingularityNet postponed their vote for 2 days to the 4th of April, today, so that the community has time to read through the vision paper and make an informed decision. There are essentially 3 pillars of focus for now: artificial superintelligence research, development, and deployment; immediate practical AI application development and building towards a unified stack; scale-up decentralized AI, AGI, and ASI compute. Just so we know what we are talking about, the paper briefly defines AGI as this: artificial general intelligence, when an AI system can perform all human tasks at minimally a human level of competence. And ASI, artificial superintelligence, would be an AI system that can perform all tasks that humans can perform better than the level of human competence. And achieving this in a decentralized way before big tech can accomplish it is the stated vision and goal of this merger. As the paper states, centralized AI has become bigger and moved faster. Decentralized AI needs to compete. It needs to get bigger and faster, and it needs to do this right now. As we all know, AI development has picked up pace like crazy. So yes, being fast is of the essence here. And this can be achieved much more effective when these 3 foundations work together. Let's get into the first pillar: build ASI. And for that, the Alliance will drive forward on 4 distinct but coordinated interoperating streams. Stream 1, large language models. Stream 2, neural symbolic evolutionary approach, OpenCog Hyperon. Stream 3, world-to-world models, Predictor. Stream 4, emergent AI from agent networks. When it comes to LLMs such as ChatGPT, the mainstream narrative is that this is our way to human-level AGI. Yet, some very reputable pioneers in the field, like Jan LeCun, have said that on the road to AGI, large language models are an off-ramp. SingularityNet, Ocean Protocol, and Fetch AI see LLMs as a part of an emerging AGI, not as completely useless or an off-ramp, but also not as being able to achieve AGI by itself, just as a part of a greater network. As the paper states, on a practical level, LLMs may ultimately be one component of multi-component AGI systems. The ASI Alliance wants to focus on neural symbolic LLMs that minimize hallucinations using data-driven reasoning, tools for neural net training and inference across decentralized networks with heterogeneous compute nodes, LLMs and other deep neural nets that keep track of what data they used for each inference to allow proper attribution and compensation of data sources. Especially the last point is something that becomes increasingly more important and probably should have been much more important right from the get-go, as big tech companies also see themselves faced with lawsuits and many complaints because they have used basically stolen data. The next stream on the road to ASI is a neural symbolic evolutionary approach, which basically describes a hybrid architecture which combines multiple approaches to AGI together. As the paper describes here, it also seems likely that the fast progress toward AGI will be achieved by hybridizing multiple AI methods from multiple paradigms. In fact, modern top-performing LLMs like GPT-4 are already hybrid systems, leveraging plugins like DALL-E for images, Wolfram Alpha for mathematical reasoning, etc. For the ASI Alliance, the AGI model will be Hyperon. As the paper states, the Hyperon design is centered on a distributed, decentralized meta-representational fabric in the form of a weighted, typed metagraph called the atom space. The algorithms utilized include attractor neural nets for attention spreading, probabilistic logical reasoning, evolutionary program learning, concept blending, and others. If you have no idea, don't worry. I made a whole video where I dissect Hyperon and explain it in depth, and I'll link the video at the end of this video, so you cannot miss it. But for now, let's look briefly at how Hyperon works at a very top level. So we have the distributed atom space, the distributed atom space, and this one is in the middle, and it's basically helping all the other approaches to communicate with one another. So let's say we have an LLM, like ChatGPT or any other, right here. Then we have approach B here, and then we maybe have a PLN, a probabilistic logic network here, approach D right here, and they all communicate via the DAS. So when there's an issue and the LLM cannot figure it out by itself, it goes to the DAS, hey, which could help me to figure this issue out most effectively? And the DAS will link it to whatever it is, maybe the PLN. And then they will communicate with one another via the DAS. And this is basically how Hyperon will work. All right, the next stream are world-to-world models, where the goal is to create the world's ultimate time series prediction machine. One of world dynamics, a world-to-world model. Ocean already has a prediction model called Predictor, which predicts crypto token price development at a very high accuracy, at least according to the paper. Getting this forecast token price prediction and also feeding the Predictor model with high probability models can both earn revenue. And already has a volume of 30 million a day and 900 million a month as of April 2nd, 2024. The goal is to broaden this model to other areas in the world, such as logistic predictions or even weather forecast predictions. It will continually ingest the physics of the world to predict its next state. I have to mention here that especially when it comes to predicting something like the weather, this is a very chaotic system, where one small tiny change can change the whole outcome of the system. So vast amounts of data are needed to make any kind of probable predictions. But the main point here is that the Predictor model will be expanded greatly and will become one part of the whole AGI approach. Another stream is emergent AI from agent networks. If you are familiar with how Fetch AI agents work, this is basically what the paper is referring to. AI agents carry out practical tasks, refer to each other for assistance, and collaborate to achieve shared goals in a whole is greater than the sum of the parts, synergetic fashion. This can be relatively simple, e.g. a document summary agent getting help from a video summary agent to process and embed video. But of course can also get increasingly more complex. The paper states that individual agents created for separate purposes cooperate to generate unforeseen levels of collective intelligence. But according to the paper, there's also great potential in combining these agents with already existing AI architecture. The Ocean Predictor model is used as an example where the intelligence of the overall network of prediction and trading agent exceeds that of any individual agent and may have properties not discernible from looking at the agents in isolation. So basically the whole Ocean Predictor model could be seen as one single agent. The next thing the paper is looking at is the question is how we can make sure that the emerging AGI or ASI will be beneficial for humanity. And a very important point here is that the context in which the AGI will be applied plays a crucial role. For example, with compassionate and beneficial applications such as education, healthcare, mental health assistance, creative arts, and basic scientific and mathematical discovery. Also, the underlying AI system must have capability for moral reflection and deep understanding of themselves and others. And the governance and guidance of the AI networks must be democratic and participatory. Which sounds like a very good approach to me. Now let's look at the second pillar. Show apps, unify stack. Here, the paper starts with a brief overview of the three foundations. Fetch provides a decentralized AI agent architecture designed specifically for commercial applications. Ocean has smart contracts and middleware to tokenize data assets and REST APIs. Above it are libraries and applications to publish, buy or sell and use or consume AI agents. And SingularityNet has developed a unique neural symbolic AGI approach called OpenCog Hyperon, designed for decentralized deployment. One of the immediate goals is to show off potential use cases and show what these foundations could achieve together. For that, the paper has a low-hanging fruit section with use cases that could be accomplished and driven forward relatively fast. I'll just give a brief overview of the different points. Fetch and Ocean are deeply engaged with AGIX. AGIX is a European project aimed at creating a secure data infrastructure and federal ecosystem for data sharing and cloud services. Unifying Fetch and Ocean here is a very obvious amplifier for the whole project. SingularityNet has produced several spin-offs, already with tokens. Some would gain immediate benefit in using Ocean's compute-to-data technology to keep data private and on-premise while still monetizing it. SingularityNet or Fetch agents running in Predictor, doing prediction and trading, providing greater diversity in the Predictor agent system's intelligence. And of course, an overall integration of the three platforms is aspired. The ASI Alliance platform engineering teams are currently collaborating on a development plan to use components from the three ecosystems to create a shared decentralized AI framework. And the paper roughly describes it like this. Ocean's middleware for data management can be integrated into Fetch blockchain nodes and relevant data management libraries and apps running on top. Smart contracts for SingularityNet AI services can be ported to run on Fetch Layer 1 alongside SingularityNet AI services running on Hypercycle, Ethereum, Cardano, and other chains as appropriate. Marketplaces by Ocean and SingularityNet can be ported as appropriate. So the vision is to merge it all together using the strengths of the individual platforms to their full capacity. And of course, while doing so, the individual platforms will keep the legacy systems running for quite a while to ease the transition period. Let's move on to the third pillar. Scale decentralized compute. Building AI and AGI needs compute, and a lot of it. As the paper states, it is no accident that Bitcoin is the largest compute network in the world. The network rewards people with BTC if they run compute to help secure the network, which could be a great advantage of decentralized AGI development if done right. The paper very bluntly puts it like this. You can get people to do stuff by rewarding them with tokens, which is very true. Fetch has already secured $100 million worth of GPUs, and SingularityNet wants to secure even more computing power. For that, they are putting out an additional proposal for the community to vote on, which we will get into very briefly right now. And again, this is a separate proposal, so it will get voted on separate from the merger. As the paper states, SingularityNet is proposing an adjustment to its previously proposed token release schedule to enable application of additional resources toward decentralized compute infrastructure. Big tech has made major strides, and for the decentralized ecosystem to keep up, it will be optimal to release tokens at a somewhat faster schedule than proposed in 2021. SingularityNet proposes to release 100 million of the roughly 300 million remaining Foundation Wallet AGIX tokens in June of 2024, with a specific mandate to use these to fund incorporation of large-scale GPU and CPU compute resources into the SingularityNet network. As I said, building AGI needs a lot of compute, and SingularityNet is proposing to use these tokens to secure large-scale compute resources. These resources will largely be situated in a number of high-performance server farms in multiple locations, Conversations have begun with crypto mining farm operators in multiple jurisdictions about upgrading their facilities to support advanced AI computation, to provide massive hardware support for the global decentralized ASI network. I think to compete with big tech and accelerate the AGI development, this could be a very good move. But we'll see what the community decides with their vote. Now let's look at the ASI governance. Formal legal governance related to the ASI token will be carried out via an artificial superintelligence council, where the three foundations come together to form a consensus and execute a shared vision, as well as ensure that the wishes of the community are incorporated. Upon approval of this proposal, an artificial superintelligence council will be formally created to monitor and guide operations of the combined decentralized community. The council will consist of Dr. Ben Goertzel as CEO, another member from SingularityNet, 2 more members from Fetch AI, and 2 more members from Ocean Protocol respectively. The primary function of the ASI Governing Council will be to coordinate ASI token release and serve needed critical legal roles related to the ASI token. Furthermore, the Superintelligence Alliance Foundation will be incorporated in the jurisdiction of Singapore. All 3 foundations have operated in Singapore for many years and are comfortable with the current regulatory framework. I think all of this is pretty self-explanatory, so I don't have to say much to it. To me, it sounds all good and makes sense, just as the next point the paper states. To add new projects to the Alliance or otherwise expand the ASI token supply, or to make changes to the constitution of the Alliance Council, what is required is A. a 2/3 vote of the Council, B. voting approval of the ASI token holders. Moving on to future voting of the community, the paper states the following. SingularityNet's deep funding program will develop a contribution rating system that rates participants on engagement and contributions and progressively changes the balance of the voting weight from token holdings towards contribution rating. Which also sounds very good to me. People who are very active in the community and participate a lot should get a higher voting power than people who just sit there and hold the token. First of all, because they probably can be trusted more, and also because they just have a better overview of what is actually going on. Now let's move on to the tokenomics. And I've already talked about this quite a bit, but there will be fixed conversion rates. Fed tokens migrate to ASI at a conversion rate of 1:1. AGIX tokens as well as Ocean tokens migrate to ASI at a rough conversion rate of about 0.433 to 1. This means one Fetch token will always have a worth of 1 ASI token. And your AGIX and Ocean tokens will always have a conversion rate of 0.433 to 1. So you get 0.433 ASI tokens for 1 AGIX or Ocean token. The price of each token was fixed before the announcement of the merger to avoid the valuation being impacted by sudden post-announcement market activity. The blockchains that the ASI token will be available on are Cosmos, Ethereum, Cardano, Binance, and Matic. When it comes to the migration of ASI, I want to mention 2 important things here. First, the ADA AGIX conversion. Now, as you can see here, you can use optimal migration via ADA bridge update. I talked about this before and I said maybe there will not be a conversion contract, but as you can see here, migration contract to be deployed shortly for AGIX to ASI. So if you wait long enough, there will be a contract that you can use on the Cardano chain. You will not need to convert to Ethereum, bridge to Ethereum, and then bridge back to Cardano. And then we have the Fetch chain. There will be a full chain hard fork to ASI, and users will need to update RPCs to new chain. Then no further action is needed. So basically the only thing you need to do here, if you hold your Fed tokens on the Fetch chain, is to import the new contract token address for the ASI token. All the other mergers and swaps, or whatever you call it, happen via the merger contract that will be posted on the official channels of the different projects. and now let's have a look at the timeline. Alright, here we have the vote and preparation, and as you can see the Fed results, we will have the Fed results at the 14th of April, and the AGIX results we'll have at the 17th of April. So at the 17th of April we will know if the merger actually happens or not. Now moving on here, as you can see here, we will get an initial roadmap at the 30th of April. And then in May we will have the token launch, the migration, the staking on the different chains, and everything else for now. So this is just for now. We'll see how the timeline develops in May. I am very excited about this merger and especially about the development of Hyperon, the AGI system that's being built. I have made a whole video about Hyperon where I dissect it and explain how it works and how it is different from LLMs such as ChatGPT in depth. You can check it out right over there. See you in the next video.